Pocket FM.
To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.
Talia wanted Damon to leave, so she used the excuse of being sleepy. She needed space. Ever since the incident with Casey, Talia didn't find a moment to collect her thoughts. First, it involved Stephanie, then Maya, and now Damon, and Talia didn't get a chance to think about what happened and what she would do about it. Well, she knew that she should leave the pack house, but the question remained, how far away should she flee? There must exist some safe distance from Damon and the bullies. Damon felt amused by Talia's newfound spunk. She seemed determined to stay away from him, but he had no intention of leaving her side. He chased Casey away, and that had to count for something. "You can't sleep like this?"
"No, not really."
Talia moved her arm. The sleeve of Talia's t-shirt hitched higher, and Damon narrowed his eyes when he saw a fresh bruise on Talia's upper arm. Damon pushed himself up and examined the bruise. It showed a palm print with 5 fingers seen clearly. He didn't need to ask how that happened. He gritted his teeth as rage swelled inside him. Damon didn't know how to handle the whirlwind of emotions that swelled inside him. Anger, dejection, guilt. But somehow, it all soothed by the sweet citrusy scent of freesia and those delightful sparks that formed as he held Talia's arm. And the only thing he wanted involved getting closer to the gorgeous girl who looked at him with her big, honeyed eyes. Talia thought that since Damon got into a seated position, he would finally leave so that she could have space to breathe without his proximity muddling her mind. But in the next moment, Damon slipped under the comforter, and she found herself in his embrace. "What are you doing?" Talia reacted instinctively to move away from him, but she was also elated by his touch. Damon shushed Talia and pressed her head to rest on his shoulder. "You said that you can't sleep when we hold hands, and I know that you like to sleep like this, so sleep." Talia couldn't believe this. Who said that she liked sleeping like that? This seemed worse than holding hands. Talia stopped her futile attempts to wiggle out of his hold and relaxed into his embrace. The feeling of his warm body next to her felt nice and sent shivers of excitement up her spine. The bossy alpha wanted to cuddle, and he pinned her against him, just like when he found her in the attic and the next day in the car and in the hotel room. And she already knew that she couldn't win. But he wanted to say something, so maybe he would let her go if she heard him out. "I'm sorry for what happened this afternoon. Casey had no right to talk smack, and she had no right to hit you. I feel responsible for it, and if there's anything I can do to make it up to you, just say it. My soul aches at the thought that you got hurt on my watch, so let me hold you. Please, it will make me feel better." Talia felt ready to hear many things, but she didn't expect an apology. Did alphas apologize? The sincerity in his voice rendered Talia speechless. He truly felt sorry that she got hurt. But the strangest thing involved the fact that Talia got bullied, yet it sounded like Damon needed comforting. Talia didn't understand why, but for some inexplicable reason, she believed him. Maybe she wanted to believe that he cared and that he felt sorry. Talia knew that by tomorrow all that might change and Damon would go back to ignoring her. But at that moment, being next to Damon felt good, and she didn't want to fight it. Her thoughts of leaving the pack house didn't disappear, but she pushed them aside for now because people treating her well happened rarely, and Talia wanted to enjoy every second of it. Damon felt pleased to feel Talia relaxing against him. Damon rolled on the side to face Talia fully, and he held her tightly against him, with his nose resting at the top of her head as he inhaled the sweet, citrusy scent of freesia that made him lightheaded. Damon chanted internally that it's just a hug, sleeping next to each other, and he would not do more than that.
"Damon,
He smiled because her voice sounded soft and she didn't use his title. Yes. You have women warriors in your pack, right? Our pack? He corrected her. And yes, we do. Can I train? I want to get stronger and maybe learn some moves to defend myself. Damon didn't like the idea of Talia fighting, but he admired her desire to learn and improve. When Travis says that your physical condition is fine, we can start. I have an appointment with him at 10 in the morning, so I will ask him then. I will go with you. Thank you for everything. She really meant it. For punishing Casey and for bringing her dinner, for saying that she could train. And even though she didn't feel fully comfortable with him in the bed, Talia couldn't deny that if Damon didn't stay with her, she would think about Casey and continue her plans about getting out of there. You're most welcome. A pleasant silence blanketed the room. Talia shifted a bit, and Damon rolled on his back so that Talia's head ended on his chest, and she felt surprised that their position didn't feel awkward. She thought about the day that started with Talia waking up on Damon's hand as a pillow, and everything that happened after that. And it seemed undeniable that this day marked the most eventful ever. Other than the unpleasant few minutes with Casey, it felt overall positive. Damon? Do you plan on sleeping here? She had to ask. Is that a problem? She didn't know how he could act like this seemed normal. You have your bed and... Is something wrong with your bed? Talia wanted to say, there's nothing wrong with it other than the fact that you're in it. But she didn't dare say that out loud. I'm sure that yours is bigger. She didn't peek inside the room across the hall, but she knew the size of the beds for Alpha, Luna, and their children in the Red Moon pack, and they definitely looked bigger than this one. Damon hummed ambiguously. So, you think that this bed is small? No, Talia quickly said. It's just that this bed is for one person. Aren't you more comfortable in your bed? Well, Damon drawled, technically, this is my bed. In my personal opinion, this bed is just fine for the two of us, Damon said, and tightened his hold on Talia. It looked like a queen-size bed. But I see your point. I will order a bigger one tomorrow. No, please, don't. Is this bed small or not? Make up your mind, Damon said with amusement in his voice. Talia let out a long breath. Forget that I said anything. Talia still felt undecided if coming to the Dark Howlers pack seemed like a good thing or not, but she knew that spending time with Damon felt anything other than boring. Talia listened to his steady heartbeat, and the slow rise and fall of his chest lulled her to sleep. Damon's hold felt solid, and it made Talia feel safe, like nothing bad could reach her, urging her to relax and drop her guard. For tonight, at least. Damon's warmth enveloped her, and his scent of the forest and dark chocolate soothed her, and without knowing how or when, Talia drifted off to sleep.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Meanwhile, at the Steelbite pack, something happened after midnight when Casey arrived home to the pack house of the Steelbite pack. Everyone saw that she felt in a bad mood, and they stayed away from her. Alpha Richard gave Casey about 1 hour to steam out before he came to her room, only to find Casey sprawled on her bed with her head buried into pillows that did a lousy job in lowering the volume of her sobs. Casey didn't feel sad or heartbroken. She felt humiliated and furious. How could she accept this outcome? She experienced Damon's intimate embrace more than once, and even though he never acted cuddly or lovey-dovey, he never hurt her. Casey didn't take it against him. He served as an alpha, after all. He didn't need to woo women because they came to him, just how Casey did. Everyone knew that Alpha Damon sampled a woman for one night, and that ended it. Casey had the pleasure of being with him repeatedly over the last few years. She thought it meant something. Yet now he choked her and he kicked her out because she slapped one scrawny Omega? The image of Damon's furious glare etched into Casey's mind, and she felt confident that it would become part of her nightmares. In her pack, Casey acted as a princess, and everyone treated her with respect. And what she experienced from Damon equaled 100 slaps on the face. It seemed one thing for Maya to mock her, but even the warriors who escorted Casey out of Damon's territory looked at her with taunting smirks, which made Casey's blood boil. Casey felt embarrassed and angry, and she didn't know how she could show her face in public anymore. Alpha Richard took a seat on the edge of Casey's bed. "Will you tell me what happened, Pumpkin?" Casey whipped her head to glare at her father. "What happened? You know what happened! Alpha Damon kicked me out and told me not to come anymore, like I was some kind of criminal." "That marked the outcome, but I'm missing the part why you assaulted one of his members. Didn't I tell you to act like his Luna and be compassionate while there?" "Compassionate? Compassion exists for people who behave and know their place. That Omega stole. She had a phone that obviously didn't belong to her, and when I asked her to give it to me, she refused and tried to leave, like I'm not important. I only slapped her to make sure she knew her place. I didn't even hit her that hard. But then Alpha Damon grabbed my neck and slammed me against the wall. He wanted to kill me." Casey sounded hysterical. "Sweetie, that's Alpha Damon you're talking about. If he wanted to kill you, you would be dead." Alpha Richard knew that Casey returned unscathed only because Casey served as his daughter. "I told you to act like a Luna and be benevolent. Unless it happened in an act of defense, you shouldn't be physical, even if your opponent acted as an Omega." "So now it's my fault?" "Alpha Damon thinks so," he deadpanned. "How about you calm down and tell me what happened from the beginning, since you arrived at the Dark Howler's pack? I don't think he would lose his temper over one isolated incident, so tell me everything you can remember. Let's analyze the situation together and see if we can salvage it." Alpha Richard went through this exercise many times. Whenever Casey returned from the Dark Howler's pack, he would find a reason to ask Casey about details from her visit. Yes, Casey only focused on seducing Damon, but sometimes she would find other useful information that Alpha Richard could use. Casey took a few deep breaths and started. "When I arrived, Alpha Damon avoided our usual greeting. Well, he doesn't really act warm and gentle, but whenever I come, I hug and kiss him. But this time, he dodged me." She told him how Damon seemed distant, and one moment he allowed her to come close, only to push her away in the next. How he always seemed busy. About the incident in the kitchen when she caught Talia stealing. How Damon would eat in his room instead of joining them. And how Damon took another girl to Humantown while giving her a warning that she acted too nosy. And then how she caught Talia with the pricey phone. Why did he defend her twice? She seems so weak. You should see her. The moment I called her out for stealing, she lowered her head in submission, and when I grabbed her hand, she couldn't get out. Alpha Richard didn't need to hear the details. He already got the gist of it about the reason why Casey got kicked out. Casey lost temper, crossed the line, and Alpha Damon punished her. To be honest, considering Casey's personality, Alpha Richard felt surprised that Alpha Damon didn't snap earlier. I thought that it involved a mood swing. Maybe he found another woman. That doesn't seem unusual, but it never lasted for more than a day, and he would always accept my advances. However, this time, I stayed there for days, and he didn't touch me. Is it because of Marcy from the Red Moon Pack? Did they really get engaged? Alpha Richard shook his head. Nothing seems conclusive with Marcy. Alpha Damon left saying that they will decide later how to proceed with the engagement. Casey frowned.
Is he actually thinking about it?
Alpha Damon doesn't act as a thinking type. He acts. Alpha Damon left the Red Moon Pack without sealing the engagement, and that means he felt unwilling to make Marcy his Luna. Casey relaxed at those words.
But then, why did he avoid me? Other than one woman who he took to the human city for an appointment, I didn't see any other woman around him other than Omega's and that annoying Beta Maya.
Do you know who served as the woman that Alpha Damon took for an appointment?
I never saw her before, but her clothes looked high-end.
Casey paused.
Actually, a day before that, Alpha Damon went shopping personally, and I saw bags full of clothing. I feel confident that he bought clothes for her.
Does that seem unusual? If he courted a woman, it's not unusual to buy her gifts. Casey plopped on the bed and stared at the ceiling.
I don't know, Daddy. Nothing seemed out of place, but my intuition told me that everything changed. So far, Alpha Damon acted either indifferent or accepting toward me. Yet this time, he scolded me more than once, and he even hurt me. A man doesn't change like that unless he found someone else. Maybe buying clothes seems normal for courting women, but I've watched Alpha Damon for years, and he doesn't court women.
Alpha Richard agreed with this. He knew very well from his experience that an alpha didn't need to show off in order to get a woman to warm his bed, because there always existed women who felt attracted to status and power. Unless Alpha Damon found a woman worth pursuing. But he didn't want to say that to Casey and risk her throwing a fit. Tell me about that girl. I will see if I can find out who she is.
Which one? The Omega who served as the reason why Alpha Damon hurt me? Or the one in the car?
Casey asked, and before her father could respond, she continued talking.
Actually, they kind of looked alike.
Sisters? Or is it possible that it involved the same person? Casey didn't take a good look at Talia when she sat in the car, but she noticed a few things.
Both had copper-colored hair and a petite frame. I didn't notice more than that, but...
Casey's eyes widened.
What if it involved the same girl? That would explain why the girl in the car seemed quiet.
If that involved the same girl, it sounds to me that Alpha Damon protects her. Did you get her name? Casey shook her head.
I can call him and...
No. Alpha Richard cut her off. Let me investigate this. Stay low, Casey. Promise me. Casey felt unwilling.
Why?
Because you just enraged Alpha Damon, and he told me that if you get close to him, he will treat you as an enemy. Trust me, you don't want that. Give him time to cool off and forget about the incident. If that involved the same girl and he protected her, she might act as more than just an Omega. Casey frowned.
You're telling me that some woman latches onto my man and I should stay quiet?
No. I'm telling you that some woman remains under his protection, and you shouldn't provoke him. There exists no proof that anything romantic happens between them. She could serve as a relative or someone he treats well because of benefits. There also exists an option that she acts as a spy who trains to go undercover. If her mission seems important, Alpha Damon would personally check her abilities. Let's not risk doing anything rashly. I will find out who she is, and we will take it from there. Casey pursed her lips.
Okay, I will not contact Alpha Damon, but only if you promise to tell me what you find.
All right, Alpha Richard said. Now, get cleaned up and sleep. I want to see you in high spirits in the morning. Casey let out a long sigh before agreeing.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, Pumpkin. He kissed Casey's forehead.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.
Pocket FM. To unlock all the episodes, click the link in bio.